Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's episode of Intuitive Angling, and hope everybody's doing well, and really appreciate you making some time to spend with me on the video today. We are going to be talking about a comment that John Cox made last week on his Facebook page that everybody needs to hear about. Guys, this is like such a right-on comment. I want to share it with you guys and offer some commentary. And if you're not familiar with John Cox, if you don't follow tournaments a lot, he is one of the most successful shallow water anglers over the past 10 or 15 years in the entire country. He's one of the anglers out there that has sort of resisted technology and dominated. He's like arguably the number one shallow water angler probably in the world today. And when he made a statement like this, I think it carries a lot of weight, so we're going to talk about it in today's episode. Also, guys, just a quick invitation. I'd like to invite everybody, if you like the content here on Intuitive Angling, to please consider hitting that subscribe button. Free and easy to do so. And if you want to go to the next level on the channel, you can become a channel member, and channel members get extra videos, the private videos that are not seen by the public every week, along with some of my email address for your fishing questions. So if you're interested, just go to my YouTube homepage and click the join button for information. So really appreciate that. Okay, if you didn't see that Facebook post that John made, I think it's been 2 or 3 days ago. It's a picture of him holding up some bass from the Lake Norman NPFL event there, and with a caption, bass fishing is back. And then he hashtagged some of the old school guys that did well in the tournament, like Greg Hackney won the tournament, Tommy Biffle, had a good tournament, and basically talking about it's time for the everybody that has retired, because he didn't say this, but obviously because a lot of the retirements have been due to forward-facing sonar, it's time for people to come back to real bass fishing in the NPFL. So I want to talk a little bit about this is at first glance when somebody says this, it's like a lot of people can slough it off, but you have to dig deeper into this about the reality of this comment coming from John Cox. Okay, now John Cox is like, he's one of those dudes out there that he doesn't say anything to ruffle people's feathers. I mean, he just does his deal, and he fishes, and he keeps, he doesn't, cause any drama or tension to himself. And he hasn't, from my knowledge, he's like, he doesn't use forward-facing sonar, but I haven't heard him bash it. He just sort of does his own thing. So guys like myself are not quite, as diplomatic as that. We're a lot more vocal about it. But one of the things about that is I can guarantee that anglers like John Cox and anglers like Greg Hackney that won the last NPFL tournament, and anglers like Jason Christie who won the first NPFL tournament, they are cheering this along, because there's something about when you win a tournament, or if you do get in a tournament in 2025 without the aid of any type of forward-facing sonar technology, that's something to be proud about. I have always felt that anytime somebody wins a tournament using forward-facing sonar, that it's sort of like, it's like a little embarrassing. Nobody ever is proud of it, unless somebody is just so, sold into forward-facing sonar, they don't know how to catch a bass without it. But most people, it's like they're a little bit embarrassed that they won a tournament or did good in a tournament using the forward-facing sonar spotlighting technology. And you don't have to feel like that when you've caught bass with the real traditional bass fishing techniques. Now, here's one of the things I want to talk about that gets swept under the rugs a lot on this whole conversation about forward-facing sonar and where it's at. When you have a tournament like the NPFL does, where that technology is not allowed, you cannot consistently excel in a format like that without the aid of that technology, without knowing a lot about bass fishing, without having a profound understanding of the nuances and the seasonal patterns and the movements and everything that it takes to, find fish by fishing. Because the advent of forward-facing sonar, people don't fish to find fish anymore, and that is the very definition of fishing. So when you have to fish to find fish, that is something that is a true art form, and it's a true skill level. And that's why throughout the course of the 40 plus years I fished tournaments, it was a rarity, guys. It came along once in a while. It did happen occasionally, but it was a rarity for anybody that was young or did not have a lot of bass fishing skills to come up and just dominate. There's been a handful of guys out there that have done that. You know, you had Kevin Van Dam at one point, Timmy Horton at one point. You've had, you know, Jordan Lee had some success before forward-facing sonar. There's people out there like that, but by and large, it's like when you look at the level of experience and the notoriety of anglers over the past 3 years that have dominated the sport and won the tournaments, they don't have a lot of bass fishing skills and experience, and they don't have that ability to excel on a non-forward facing circuit. Now, a lot of people say, oh, Randy, you don't know what you're talking about. These young guys are good, or these forward-facing sonar guys are good, and they do just as good, you know, without forward-facing sonar. No, they wouldn't. They would not. You can't spend all of your time refining and getting good at using the spotlighting technique and expect to not have your skills atrophy in other areas of bass fishing, or those skills may not even exist. Because I can tell you right now that when you have to find fish from a seasonal movement, seasonal pattern perspective point of view, and you have to do that all over the country, it requires so much embedded knowledge and education and time on the water and creativity and ingenuity that it's impossible to do that if you spend all your time using forward-facing sonar. So one of the things that we've seen with this is like people are beginning to come out a little bit. They're coming out of the closet a little bit from the anglers. It's been quiet. It's okay now. It's like prior to like 6 months ago, a lot of pros and a lot of the people that have been in the sport a long time, they didn't want to make any waves. It's like because anyone that made a wave against forward-facing sonar was sort of labeled as a complainer or a whiner. But now it's getting where it's okay. There's such an outrage and such a disgust about forward-facing sonar, and you're constantly seeing the veteran and older anglers come out against it. Little by little, people realize it's okay to voice your opposition to this destructive technology. And when John Cox made that comment about real bass fishing is back, that was a very diplomatic, subtle comment, basically saying, in my opinion, it's like, this is real fishing. It's like that other crap is not real fishing. Call it what you want, but it's not fishing. It's an insult to the sport. It's an insult to the bass. And these are my words I'm saying. And everybody's happy about it. You know, everyone that I have talked to that have been fishing the NPFL, they love it, man. It's like the energy's great, the vibe's great. You don't have to jack, or you know, you don't have all this drama and emotion and disgust and reliance on forward-facing sonar technology. You just go out there and fish the way fishing's meant to be. So anytime something comes up like this, guys, we have to really celebrate it, and you have to draw out and point out the fact that people just do not want this technology. They don't. It's like there is a handful of people that want it. And here's the people that want it, guys. There's a group of anglers in this country, tournament anglers, that they know they can't compete without it, and they're on this gravy train right now that they're using this technology as their 100% crutch to success. And they understand if that crutch is taken away from them, they're going to fall into irrelevancy, or it's going to take them years of going through this learning curve to be able to compete with real bass fishing techniques. That's one element. And the next element is all the people within the industry that benefit financially from it. You know, if you're getting big subsidies and big sponsorships from electronic companies, you're not going to say anything bad about it. You know, it's a business. You know, a lot of those people that are in that position, they're not looking at the bigger picture and the tradition and the history and the sport moving forward. It's all about profit margins, you know, that they're going to have year by year. So make no mistake about it. The majority of the anglers by far in this country share the point of view that everybody feels but is not talking about, that they don't want it. It has no place in fishing. It disgusts some people more than others. But when you've got money involved and you got a very loud vocal minority of people that are pushing to keep it legal, I mean, that's the way that the power structure has been politically in this country forever. You know, a lot of times the vocal minority will, overpower the majority of the people in the country. So anyway, guys, just wanted to pass that along and hope you guys are well. We'll talk later.